Welcome back, guys. We know last video was a little bit underwhelming. You know, we were at a friend of ours' house. He wanted to remain anonymous, so we thought, hey, we're gonna release the video, but we're gonna release a better video today. So stay tuned. Remember to like, comment, subscribe while we check out some venomous snakes here with my buddy Mark, and enjoy the show. Say what? Oh, hello there, little buddy.
Hi, little guy.
I'm so small. What's his name, Adam? Oh, no, I don't really have a name for him.
No name for this guy?
This is a West African Gaboon Viper. You can hear him hissing a little bit. That's just him communicating with me. He's a little uncomfortable. But yeah, this is a West African Gaboon Viper. This is the largest species of viper in the world. And by largest, I mean heaviest. And this is a male right now. We have a female we brought with us, and she is a lot bigger than this. This guy maybe weighs like a pound or two. The other one is 25, 30 pounds. Not quite the weight on her, but.
So how old is this guy right now?
This guy I've had as a baby, and he's about 1.5 years. So once he gets a little bigger, you can actually pair these snakes up for life and have them live together, which is pretty cool.
Is that common with venomous snakes like this?
Like this, especially with the adder family, yes. If you try to like pair up cobras or anything like that, it doesn't usually go too well.
No? What happens when you do that?
Well, they're snake eaters, so usually they eat each other.
Oh, snap.
But that's all, you know, I have false water cobras, and they eat other snakes who are known for it, but I pair mine up and they live together, and they do just fine even when laying eggs. They don't try to eat them or anything, which is super cool.
So can you explain what's going on with that air right there?
So right there, that air, he's just forcing it out of his lungs, so it creates that hissing sound. And that hissing sound is just a warning to me. It's like rattlesnakes rattle, these things hiss. So, you know, they're ambush predators. So if they're like, oh, you're not food, they'll sit there and hiss and let you know that they're there in the leaf litter.
So is it like an aggressive thing, or is it just kind of like a, hey, be cautious?
That's just a warning, I'm here. You know, like a rattlesnake rattle, you got the hiss. It's just that warning they've adapted over time just to let you know they're there.
Got you.
They're not, I mean, they're super fast at striking, but they're not too fast at moving, so.
What's protocol if you get bit by this guy?
Just anti-venom pretty much. And it would be San Diego Zoo, or there may be some universities. But bite protocol is pretty much just get to the hospital as fast as you can. And then I have a whole book at home about it, but it just, it's the Florida Snakebite Institute bite protocols. And then it just goes over a bunch of different things. And so the bite protocols, I'm not too sure word for word, but they're in a book.
They're in a book
so
somewhere.
If I get bit, that whole book comes with me, and I go to the hospital. And then they read the book and figure all that stuff out. And it just depends on symptoms too. Sometimes you can get dry bites. These things bite their owners quite frequently actually, and they give a lot of dry bites. So that's why when I work with the animal behavior as well, I try to get them to trust me. So if I ever do get a bite in the future, hopefully it'll be a dry bite.
So can you explain what a dry bite
side
is?
binding action. So a lot of people say that they can caterpillar crawl, but they can also like do that side winding movement as well. What was your question though?
What's a dry bite?
A dry bite is where they bite you but inject no venom. So when they say babies are more dangerous, it's because the babies can't control any venom. They just pump it all. And adult snakes and stuff like that can control their venom, so they can choose to inject venom or not into you.
No way.
This guy actually came from a friend. here in Oregon, and he breeds them. And I got him from him just for my female, so he is super, super cool.
So are you gonna try to pair this guy up with your female at some point?
Not necessarily pair up, but I do want them to live together, and if they do have babies, that'll be super cool.
Okay.
And they give live birth, so if I go in the cage one day, there could be 30 to 60 live babies.
They have that
Anything
many?
like that. If they're huge, they can have so many babies.
Whoa.
It's ridiculous. That's why they're more cheaper. More cheaper. They're kind of a cheap snake compared to a lot of other venomous snakes, is because they give birth to a lot of live young.
So when people breed them, there's a ton of them.
Yes, and so imagine trying to sell that many. Like, who can you really sell a Gaboon Viper to?
Yeah,
a few
yeah.
people, and then you're left with all these babies. So that's kind of why it's hard to sell them. And then other people, like on the East Coast, will have so many babies, or selling to 18-year-olds for $100. Like, here you go, just trying to get rid of them, that kind of thing. And that's where accidents happen. So, and then this is just one of those gems where everybody needs a Gaboon Viper in their collection. That's just every keeper's thing. And they're super cool. They're super intelligent. They're super laid back. Definitely one of the easiest snakes to have. Just their venom toxicity is insane. And then they have the biggest fangs of any snake in the world. So if they bite you and they envenomate you, you're gonna get that venom in your bones. You're gonna get it in your muscle tissue. Like, it's just you're gonna lose whatever got bit, pretty much.
So who should own a Gaboon Viper? Like, when you talk about, people buying ball pythons or people buying vipers or stuff like that, how do you know when you're ready to own something like this?
Honestly, your very first venomous snake should be anything local to you. So if you live in Africa, this would be a great first snake.
Okay.
There's anti-venom available, and they're super placid as long as you have great techniques and protocols and all that stuff, and you just follow it. They're super, super cool snake. We have cobras and stuff, and those things are a little bit more fast and agile, so it just depends on what you're working with. But out of all the venomous snakes and stuff we've worked with, Gaboon Vipers are just little puppy dogs, pretty much. You just gotta give them respect, distance, and I have friends online that handle these things. Like, they literally will kiss them on top of their head, or
Oh my
put
lord.
them around their neck like a non-venomous snake. It's insane. These things are so docile. But then a lot of people sit there and have that impression, and then that's why they do it. I'm sure not this one, but the other one I would bring out, I can probably handle no problem. And I would never really trust them to do that. And I'm a dad, so I don't want to die or anything.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you usually feed these guys? Are they eating the same diet as, let's say, like I use ball python just because they're so common. Do they have the same diet, or do you give them something more special?
I feed all my animals pretty much the same diet. They get a mix of like everything. We'll feed hamsters. We feed a lot of bird diet. Birds are easier to digest because they have air in their bones.
Okay.
So we feed a lot of quail, especially a lot of quail. We'll do chickens too. And then mammals here and there, rats, hamsters, mice, gerbils. Those are more of a treat though, but usually bird diets are what all of my snakes get. And they're just super easy to digest. It's amazing. And in the wild, they eat a lot of birds too.
Wow.
Yeah, birds are a great source of protein.
So what's max size for this guy?
This guy is a male, so he probably max around 3-4 feet. And then
Okay.
the females are the ones that get up to 6 feet. Like, ours is about 6 feet, and they can get a little bit bigger, but it's not too common. But they are the heaviest species of viper in the world. So you have the Bushmasters, which are the longest. And then you have these ones, which are the heaviest. And as you can even tell, just the size of this snake, he's about 2 feet long, and you can see the girth of him. He's just a heavy bodied snake. And they're pretty amazing. And then lighter colors on this guy just shows he's from the edge of the forest or the jungles, and more like savanna or grassland habitat. So he blends in really well there.
So your enclosure at home with this Gaboon Viper, how do you set that up? Like, what does it look like?
So at home, I just do a Repti chip.
Okay.
And then I just kind of mist every day with all the animals. It gives me a chance to check on them.
Mm-hmm.
And then interact with them as well. And then it's just pretty basic setup. You want just a water bowl in there. They more drink from the misting, but I have seen them drink from the water bowl.
Okay.
And then they're more just ambush predators, so they'll sit in the same spot for months, weeks, kind of thing. So they just need a few hides to feel comfortable in, and enough substrate to be able to kind of burrow themselves in. And they love it.
Gotcha.
And they'll just sit there, you know, they're not a very active snake, but they're beautiful to look at. And then you do all the leaf litter and the cages. People get fancy, like Eric here at Urban Jungle will do a bunch of bioactive enclosures, and they would be great for this snake. Except it only goes to the bathroom a few times a year, so to actually have isopods or anything in there, you'd have to feed the isopods, all that kind of stuff.
Gotcha. So they only go bathroom a few times a year?
Yeah, they're such a great energy saving snake. They will hold that food item that they digest for a long time and just use the energy off it. And then yeah, they go to the bathroom a few times a year, and it's a lot.
So are there any kind of health issues that these guys have?
These guys, yeah, they can get dehydrated really fast. Like I was saying before, they need a lot of humidity in their habitat, so we use the Repti chip.
Okay.
And it's just coconut fiber that holds moisture really well.
Got you. So this is more of like a tropical snake kind of thing?
Yes, tropical rainforest of Africa snake. And then yeah, it just hides. They love to hide. They just they'll sit there and use their camouflage to hide. You know, even in plain sight, they sit completely still until they get spooked or know you've seen them or there's a food item. And yeah, the strike on them is super fast. Even if you get a slow motion video,
Still quick.
it's still insane. And you watch it, they tag that prey item like 2 or 3 times, and you only see it once. You're like, what?
Whoa.
Insane. And this guy can strike any direction, so gotta be super careful. He can even strike backwards at me.
So I see those horns
Mm-hmm.
kind of on the top of his nose there.
So these are modified scales on top of his nose right there.
Okay.
I don't really know what they're there for. Part of the camouflage. I don't think anybody really knows, but they're super cool. And they're part of the adder family. And they have there's rhinoceros vipers. The rhinoceros vipers really have those pronounced horns on top of them. They just see those huge venom glands on top of his head.
Wait, so which one, what are the venom glands? Can you?
The venom glands are
You point that out, maybe with the stick here.
venom glands are right here. Boom and boom. So a very large Gaboon Viper, like the one I'll show you later, can do up to 1,000 milligrams of venom pumped in you.
Whoa.
That's a lot. Most shots that you see are like 5 milligrams, you know, or something like that, like fully loaded. So it's insane how much venom these guys can pump in you.
Wow.
And they have the most venom load out of any snake in the world as well. So they have a lot of dangerous traits, which make them not particularly a good starter snake, but at the same time, their personality and easiness of them make them a great first snake. But anything venomous you get, you should start with local to you. That way the local hospitals know how to deal with it, and there's anti-venom available.
Yo, we're here with Mark once again. We're here with this West African Gaboon Viper.
Peaches.
I heard Peaches is internet famous.
Peaches, there's a lot of people that know her. She has hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube, and yeah, she's a really big Gaboon Viper. We'll just say that.
Is she thick?
She's thick. She's
so thick, 100,000 views?
She's thick. She's a thick girl.
Sounds like my wife.
And I have her fangs to show you guys later too. They'll throw them in the video.
I also have my wife's fangs to show you guys later too, if this video is wrong. So let's hope all goes well. So folks, notice those are permanent zip ties. We're not going to keep an adult snake with the thickness that this girl's got with temporary zip ties. It's just not happening. We ain't doing it. Mark?
Okay, so I'm gonna get the snake out. And usually we use the hooks and everything, but this snake is so massive. For the safety of her, I use her tail and underbody to get her out and move her because she is just so massive. I don't want her rib to puncture an organ or anything like that by using these little snake hooks. Yeah.
It's understandable.
And as you'll see, I don't recommend doing this, but if you want to get a Gaboon Viper, they do get this large. And you can get large snake hooks. You can get massive ones custom made. I just like this method.
Let me get the viewers a good close up of this snake hook. And this is handling weight, you know. Mark's gonna use it appropriately. Mark's, again, one of my mentors. So guide me in, bro.
All right, so this snake is massive. Everybody knows about Gaboon Vipers. They can strike any direction, all of this stuff. This snake has 1,000 milligrams of venom in it, which is a lot of venom. It is a lot of venom. And as we'll show you the fangs are about 2 inches, 1.5 inches, 2 inches. They're massive. So we'll get the snake out and you guys can see her in all of her glory. It'll be pretty awesome. All right, so we're gonna open the snake receptacle super safely. So I'm gonna use my handy dandy tool, my snake hook, to get under this lip. I'm just gonna lift up the thing and see where she's at. So I see her. You guys can come in and see her right now.
Say what? All I heard was razzle and dazzle in my...
You guys can come see her. She's super cool.
Sal, get in here, dog. Listen,
You're safe.
get in here safely. That is
Holy crap.
the holy moly of bean burritos.
So
Muchas gracias has nothing on that burrito.
She is thicker than my thigh.
She is thick. Listen,
She weighs probably 30 pounds.
my wife thick. That's thicker than my wife thigh.
Yeah, you can see those
You see
huge
that?
venom sacs right here on the back of her head, right here. And see, same thing with this. I train with the snake hook, so that way they don't fear them. Yeah, she's super cool. You can hear that hiss. So she hisses like a rattlesnake will rattle. She's just letting us know, communicating with us, all that stuff. So they rely on camouflage, obviously. By me touching her, she knows we're here, so she's hissing and letting us know that she knows.
Mark, how old is this snake?
This snake is about 9 years old.
And how long have you had her?
I have had this snake for a little over 3 years, and I got her when she was about almost 6.
Okay.
Um,
What was the size comparison when you got her? What would you say?
she was extremely overweight, and I would say she was about this thick, but severely overweight. She has grown to had her lots of full sheds, and she's just really nicely filled out right now. She is not overweight. She's not underweight. It took me years and years and years to get her back down to a healthy size and weight. And with these snakes, it takes patience. They have such a slow digestive system and such slow growers. It took a while. She got fed 1 large rat a week, and the guy only handled her twice in those 6 years that he had her, and that was when she was a baby. So she sat in this little cage her whole life, just being fed a rat once a week.
And now at your house, what kind
Now
of
she's just in a huge enclosure. It's 5 feet by 5 foot by 2 foot high cube. We had custom made for her. So she's in that, and she loves it. She's so big, I use tortoise heat mats for her.
Yeah, you
And
know,
she
one
loves
of
it.
my favorite things about you is, you know, we do business together. Sometimes, you know, you sell me boas, this, that, the other, and you always bring them on towels or rags. And I gotta say, that is one of the amazing things about you. Is like, you know, breeders bring me snakes in bags and this, that, the other, and you always bring me, even the smallest snake has the most ample bin and a proper moisture.
Yeah, I like to use towels because they hold moisture, which is super good, and it's not dusty.
I noticed
so.
you use a lot of bar towels, and that's one of my favorite things about you. Is like,
Yeah.
you know, it keeps, if you're transporting a snake, it does still need the humidity and the heat that
Well, it's
accustomed to.
Yeah.
You know,
And you could tell it's an all black tub that I use with a yellow lid. So the lid allows light in, but you know it's just kind of like a light bulb on.
Yeah.
And then I have no ventilation holes in this because it's not airtight. So there's no holes. So when I'm traveling and stuff, there's no wind flow in these. There's nothing. It's literally its own climate inside the box.
Yeah, man. And I mean, it's great. The things I see you do, like, really makes a difference to me when I get the animals from you, and like in the temperament and when I handle them, and
the animal behavior makes a difference. You know, they're just not a product.
And I'm a store, you know, so that you know when you bring me you know, false water cobras and this, that, and the other. Like the method and the care you use bring them to me just really makes a difference in the sellability of the animal, the handleability, and the temperament of the animal.
Yep, and it makes a difference to the people and the public, you know, not even just the owner that buys it, to their family members, you know, or anything. It's all an image of the reptile hobby. So,
Yeah, man.
like you guys saw earlier, you know, before with the other vipers or the rattlesnakes, you know, it's just that you don't want them to fear us. Just like we don't want to fear them. It's just all a healthy respect on both parties.
Yeah, better safe than sorry on all accounts, you know.
Yeah.
All right, let's attempt to get this hog out.
Okay, so with this, I like to desensitize her head.
Okay.
And I'll touch her, and then I get super low.
At this size, can she still strike her body?
So if this was a completely wild Gaboon Viper, she would be super agile like a ninja, and I want to be this close to her.
Yeah.
But since because I know her, and she was severely overweight and not very athletic, but she's still super athletic. I've seen her food response.
I mean, it's the fastest bite or strike in the world. Second fastest.
Yes,
200
next,
miles per hour.
Yeah, next to the puff adder, which
Puff adder.
this is the biggest adder in the adder family.
Yeah.
You could hear her hissing. She's just communicating with us. So I stick the snake pole in like this, and I jam it down there, so she can't turn around and get me. And then I'll come in like this.
If you don't mind, I'm going to walk behind you.
Yep. So with her, now she's flicking her tongue, so I wait for that. So she's super comfortable, and I'm always just behind her, underneath her. And again, I would not recommend this because she is so big. And I just move with her.
Just majestic, baby girl.
She is beautiful.
Wow.
And again, I do not recommend this. This is just something that I do because she is so big.
Yeah.
And I've worked with her a lot to get her up to this point.
All right. So
Now I'm going to move this tub.
I'm going to keep 2 points of access between me and the snake while you move the tub.
Bloopers.
Now, is this snake going to respond to me politely? As history follows, if I hook her?
So with this snake, you can hook her, but she's so thick.
I'm hooking her now to
Yeah.
get around her. I'm not going to...
So it's more just, you just got to change the traction of her.
Yeah.
I like to use the blunt side of the stick.
Okay.
So you can really get that in there and get her moving. But again, I don't like her to be scared or anything. I like to be on their level.
And you see how this snake moves, people? This is the world's most dangerous earthworm. I'm sure you've heard that on our channel before, but in actuality, it is the reality. Mark and I are going to trade hooks here.
And with her, she's just so big, I have to redirect her. So, kind of just do that like this. Bloop. And then she's so big, again, I just like to use this side, and it's just more of a tool to keep myself safe.
So I know some snakes respond positively to strokes like that, and I noticed that you stroke this animal before you touch it.
So what I do is I desensitize that reflex. So it's like coming up on an alligator or something. You touch it, it's going to automatically, you know, close its jaws or whatever. But you desensitize it.
Repetitively over time, the snake understands.
So I'm desensitizing her so I can grab her, and it's not just a sudden feeling on her tail. So.
But also, folks, remember, this is a wild, venomous, toxic, deadly animal. We don't take any chances here, you know? So at this size, you'd say about 1/3 of her striking range is deadly?
Yep. And like I said, this was a completely wild Gaboon Viper. It would just be like a ninja and just be so striky, bitey. But like I said, I don't recommend this kind of handling.
Her with the hook?
Yep. Yep. And so I started out with the hook desensitizing. So you just want to do that. And it took me years to get to this point. But it's kind of that solid contact thing where as long as I don't let go, I don't start that reflex.
You mentioned before that some Gaboons are hybrids.
Yep, so you can tell by the front of her face right here, she has one stripe. If this was a East African Gaboon, there would be 2 stripes. I'm sure he'll throw a picture of one up. And then hybrids will have like half a stripe along with this main stripe that they have here. As you can tell, she is just one solid stripe with nothing else. So she is a pure West African Gaboon Viper. And they come from like the Congo, places like that. And you could see on this snake, there's more pinks and yellows in this.
Yeah.
She's gonna shed soon. So she's not as vibrant as she normally is, but once she sheds, it'll be beautiful. And I'll actually give you the shed for the shot because it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. I'll frame it.
And then people can really feel it. And this is one of the few snakes where you can just keep feeling the snake scales even through the shed.
I love how even at this size, it's basically the world's deadliest caterpillar.
Yeah, and people get that false image of this snake's super calm, it loves me.
Yeah, but
kind of like I'm doing now, but I know this snake doesn't love me, and I'm just working with it for its safety more.
Yeah, this is a big girl. And you said this is a girl, yeah?
Yep, this is a female, and you can tell by this little nubbin right here.
Yeah.
You saw earlier on that one male, it's super long tail.
Quite longer.
These are sexually dimorphic as well, where you can tell the sex just visually. So that's super cool.
You know, the hourglass here just kind of says everything you need to know about the snake. If you get bit, that's about how long you live. That tiny little bit of yellow.
It's insane. And
I mean, 200 miles per hour, folks. Think about that.
She hits hard.
This is a Bugatti with a better paint job.
So another thing with feeding these
Like,
snakes
seriously,
too,
think about that. This is a Bugatti that's more efficient than a Bugatti. I mean, that's wild to think about.
And there's a special special way to feed these snakes too, because they hit so hard and they have the longest fangs.
So Mark told me, you know, we're gonna guide her in here. We don't want her getting up here towards this Dumerals boa that's down here. And notice there's a good 5 feet between me and this snake.
And see how I'm just using this back of this hook? I'm not in strike range right now.
And you can tell she's not aggressive. She's in thinking mode. She's not aggressive. Steady tongue flicks. There's no tenseness in this snake. She's exploring. She's comfortable. So how often do you feed the snake?
This snake eats once a month to once every 2 months.
And you said they defecate only about 3 to 4 times a year?
Literally, and it is nasty. If she still had poop in her right now, she'd be a little bit more filled up, but she just pooped a few days ago. And that's where we got those fangs from. We're inside the poop, so.
And we're gonna cut to a B image of those fangs.
You could just see the size of those venom glands. And they go from here to here. I'd say about 2-inch venom glands. 3 inches.
And folks, do not do what Mark is doing.
Insane.
We don't handle venomous snakes openly and readily.
No.
Mark knows this animal. He's had it for years.
And that's not even an excuse. I know the risks involved, and I choose to do this, and I do not recommend this at all.
Millions of peaches. This peach is not for you.
I chose Peaches because it's such an innocent name. And just like, I look at her face, I'm like, you're just so cute, I want to kiss it. Like, it looks like a puppy dog face.
Her scales are the size of a large carp.
They're insane.
It's nuts.
Just imagine the African bush, all this body armor.
You know, it's easy to imagine, but what you don't imagine is that you walk right over the snake and never see it because it blends in so well.
And they get bigger than this.
Yeah, that's...
This is insane.
I want to put a dollar bill next to her so the viewers can see the size of the snake. And I love how she's desensitized, so you could just...
Yeah. And I just do that for her safety, my safety. I desensitize everything. I try to. Even if I don't handle it with my hands, I desensitize them with the hooks just so they know.
It is insane, this snake.
Okay.
No, thank you, girl. You're close enough.
Yeah, she's so cool though. You can see why people just get really comfortable with these snakes.
I mean, I see a lot of other YouTubers way too comfortable with these snakes. And that, a lot of bigger YouTubers, and it makes me uncomfortable to see them be that comfortable. I feel like these snakes deserve a lot more space than they're allowed, especially in public forums like YouTube. And it's really unfortunate, you know?
Yeah, and just, I mean, these things have massive litters. Like massive litters. Could you imagine like 30 to 60 little babies, live birth, and then trying to get rid of those babies and find great homes for them? So a lot of people just, you know, wholesale them out, $100 here, $100 there, you know. It's just 18, 19-year-old kid that has them.
You know, my opinion is that if you have nothing less than an exemplary species, example of the species, you probably just freeze the eggs.
Yes, or use them as feeders.
Same reason we don't sell bearded dragons. Same reason we don't sell bearded dragons, leopard geckos, chameleons, or big snakes at this shop. There's plenty of them out there, and it's not always the most responsible thing to do to offer them for sale or make more available to the public to be rehomed. We just don't do that. You know, it's just not what we're about.
What was the last meal?
Quail.
Quail.
She loves birds. Birds are super healthy. Their bones are full of air, so it's just easier for them to digest. And it's super awesome. They have less byproduct that comes out of them, so less poop and stuff.
Especially with an animal that defecates far less frequently than the average animal. I mean, even petting this animal with a hook is just an out of this world experience. It's nuts. Something you know, we could be a lot more exciting on these videos and reactive and get a bunch more views with all these crazy strike threat poses, and that's just not what we're doing here. We're respecting this animal's space.
We just have a mutual respect, understanding. I treat it as it's a Gaboon Viper.
Responsible keeping of dangerous animals is of utmost importance. You know, we need more YouTubers, more TikTokers, more Instagrammers. I feel like they'd get a lot more natural numbers and views if they respected species like this in the way that we're trying to portray them, you know?
This is an amazing species to keep. You get so much enjoyment out of it. Everybody just says they're logs, they just sit there, which they do, but
shock value is not everything, you know? Sometimes it's about the actual personality of the animal.
And I get them out. I get her out once a week. I give her a bath, even though she doesn't need it. It's just good to hydrate. It gives me hands-on experience with her, the hook-on experience, the everything, just to be able to keep her comfortable and, you know, her mind mentally going and stuff.
I notice she's not threatened at all. You're low and I'm staying high. It's obviously a very large snake. And I'm more comfortable with staying high, which, how do you feel about that, Mark? Like,
I like it, however. I've worked with her so much, I know her. And I would never really be in that strike range, especially right here. But, you know, I'm just being super calm, super mellow, and just go with the situation.
all right,
She can move super fast. She can sidewind really fast if she wants to.
Oh, I mean,
not just this caterpillar.
highly underestimated
Insane.
agility of a snake species. Like, it's ridiculous. All right, Mark, I'm gonna let Sal get some B-roll with you.
Cool.
I think it's super cool that she allowed me to do that. We just want to show how chill she actually is. Let's go one more time. Look at that. And we're not, she's very big. I just want to give scale on how large this snake is. in the video. Marky Mark,
Yeah.
how you feel today?
Oh, so good. How do you feel? Is that good? I live with these animals every day, so
You know,
I love to see the joy on other
I'm
people's
stoked to have you as
faces.
one of my many mentors in the Venomous game.
Good.
We're gonna be bringing some super sicky dope content.
Yeah.
Remember to like, comment, subscribe. We've got merch coming soon: hats, shirts, hoodies, at an amazing price point, amazing quality. We really appreciate you coming out, Mark. I can't thank you enough. You've been a good friend of mine since day one that I started the shop, and we're excited to bring you into the family and
Thanks for having me.
do some stuff
That's
here.
amazing.
So, you know, guys, I can't thank you guys enough for everything that you guys do. You know, we don't have a whole lot of subscribers right now, but every single one we have, we really appreciate. We're a grassroots business. We're a grassroots channel. We're about to bring the funk.
And just
1,
support
2,
the animals.
3, 4, 5 fingers of funk.
Yeah.
That's like 5.
If you add another hand, it's another 5.
So that's like 10 fingers of funk.
That's
so like that's super
A
funky.
lot of funk.
I mean funky.
I'm down.
Are you down?
I'm down. I'm always down. But yeah, anyways, some more exciting animal content in the future.
Also, your mom goes to college.
Probably not.
Give him a sexy look, not a gangster. I'll go right on. Oh, never mind. Also, your snakes.
a quote. I get my animals to trust people before I get people to trust my animals.
You know what else is a good quote? Boats and All right, now that that's done, we're gonna check out the big Gaboon. Gaboon. Gaga, Lady Gaga. We gotta get bloopers, dog. Like.